Welcome to part 2 of our live training process here with our force induction G4x plug and play example. Now in this tutorial, we're going to be focusing on getting our engine to fire up and run, going through some basic sensor checks, making sure that everything is operational and the engine is able to maintain and hold its own idle. We have a lot to cover. Let's jump into our tutorial so we can check this out. Welcome back to our live training session here with our K-Swap Supercharged NSX. In the last tutorial, we built our base calibration file. Now we're ready to upload it to our link and do a basic sensor check, making sure all of the sensors that we've wired in are going to be working correctly, testing some of our outputs, getting the engine to fire off and run, which is always the first hurdle, and starting off and doing any calibration and tuning with a standalone system. Once we get it running, we're going to be validating our fuel and airflow model. We're going to be setting our spark timing for idle conditions, checking our base timing with a timing light, making sure that the link has been synced with the engine in terms of the timing it's commanding to what we're actually seeing at the engine. And then we're also going to be lastly taking a look at running a cam test on the variable cam control here to make sure that that's going to be valid, it's going to be right. This is all basic sensor checks, basic details that we need to take care of before we move into actually driving and going into full throttle. So let's go dig in here and let's start off our video here by first doing a sensor check. Now there's going to be some other things we have to do, such as a map sensor calibration and a TPS sensor calibration, but we'll do that as we go along here. So we're in the offline mode right now. My ignition key is on. I'm connected to the link plug and play box with my laptop, but I need to go and establish the communications. If I go up to the top here, I go to ECU control and go to connect ECU, we're going to find, give this a second here, it shows that the ECU is being connected. And what I'm going to do is go here to File, go to Open, and I'm going to go into the folder to source the file that we've created from that last tutorial. So go here to Documents, and this is just where I have my file saved. You might have them in a different location, but Documents, a separate sub-link folder, and then here K20 NSX, and then K20 base. So it's going to ask me, do I want to open this in my G4x software, my PC Link software, and do I want to overwrite whatever's in the ECU? And the answer to that is yes, I want to do that. I want to go and install this base map that we've created in the offline mode. Getting online now, we want to actually upload all of the changes that we've established in that map to the link. So I'm going to click yes right here, and we're going to see it's downloading the data to the ECU. Now the next thing we need to do is go in here and go over our sensor checks. Let's go over all the basic sensors, which is found here on my basic sensor page, and then we'll go through some of the calibration for the map barrow check and the TPS check as well. We're going to see here the file's been opened and downloaded successfully. Do you want to carry out a store command? We need to do the store commands so that we actually store the data that we're changing as we're calibrating during the process. But for right now, we definitely want to go and store this, because if we cycle down the power to the link, it won't store the map that we just uploaded. So we definitely want to do that. We'll say yes, and it's performing the store here. And let's give it a second. We'll come back online. So again here, okay, there we go. Now we're ready to go. So the first thing that I'm going to do here, anytime I upload a map, anytime I'm working with a new application, calibrate the TPS, and then make sure that the map sensor is calibrating to the barrel pressure sensor. So you have to do this, and in fact you have to do the map pressure check, the map pressure calibration check, in order to get the engine to actually fire off and run. If you don't do the map calibration check, and it doesn't validate when it compares itself against the barrel pressure, which we can see if we take a look here, I should have it up on my screen. Barrel pressure right here is showing 100.2 kPa. We see the map pressure showing 100.0.1 kPa. Now, right off the bat here, these are pretty much matching in line with each other, which they should, as long as your calibration scale is right for the map sensor, and the barrel pressure is on board, so that's going to be what it's going to be. But if your calibration is correct, everything's wired correct, this should pretty much match what your barrel pressure is going to do. But the link still needs to do its check in order to validate it, in order to allow you to fire off the motor, because if these two are far apart, then there's something wrong with the calibration or the wiring, and you don't want to start your engine because you're going to be tuning it off the map sensor, and if it's completely skewed or wrong, well, that's not going to be good. It's not going to run right, and you'll be chasing your tail trying to get the vehicle to run right. Just long term, never is going to work out. So let's go in here and do the TPS calibration and the map sensor calibration. They're found in the same location in our software. So if we go up here to ECU controls, and down here, let's first do the map sensor calibration. This is automated, we don't need to do anything, we just need to click this. It's going to ask, do you want to perform a map sensor calibration? Which we do. We'll click yes here. And we can see here the map sensor is calibrated, command completed successfully, which means, again, the map sensor is looking at the barrel pressure, and they're pretty much on top of each other because our map sensor is wired right. It's going to be, the calibration scale is right, so everything looks good there. And at this point, we'd be ready to fire off the engine. The coils and injectors will fire. If you do not do a map calibration check, the coils and injectors will not fire. It blocks you out on purpose, and if it fails the map calibration check, it's not going to allow the engine to start. Again, to avoid having any issues. I think the discrepancy between the map and baro, I think, is 1 or 2 kPa. It's a very small window, but we want them to be calibrated right. The next thing here, we can take a look. I'm off the throttle right now. Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.